It's fitting too.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Can We Talk? This your boy Eric. I'm here with the usual suspects, Anthony and Shayna, and we got a special guest.
Very special
Starting
guest.
off the new year big.
We got a very special guest, a rap battle legend with us right now.
Detroit legend.
Detroit.
Our first guest with a Wikipedia page.
For real?
I just found out I had a Wikipedia page like 36 hours ago.
Wait, who filled out the Wikipedia
No
page for
idea.
you?
No idea.
Oh my!
And I want it
accurate?
taken down because it's very accurate.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Marv One in the
Marv
building.
One.
What up? Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, man. We appreciate it,
Man.
So we starting off the new year right on a good note. Speaking of the new year, what was your New Year's resolution for you?
To not make any New Year's resolutions.
Man, we talked. We had
Thank
a
you.
whole. We
Thank
had like
you.
a whole 5-minute discussion about this. I don't really care, but it's a thing people do, and I think for me, it took a lot of sort of figuring out what I wanted. But I just need to go to the gym a little bit more and to get a little healthier. But that's just me.
I mean, but these are things that you already know. There's no need to wait until the new year to try to put these things in play.
Yeah.
If they're things that you know you need to do.
That's true,
You
and it
know.
kind of sets you up for failure too. Because it's
Yeah,
like
exactly.
if you don't reach that, then it's like, dang, my whole year ruined.
You know what I do? I do daily resolutions. I
like
literally
that.
wake up and I'm like, yo, this is what I want to do today. It's
I
not
like
about
that.
tomorrow. It's not about for the rest of the year. It's like, yo, this is what I need to do today.
Hit
So
those
every-
check marks.
Every day I just wake up, try to be a better person. Try to stay away from cheese because cheese is killing me right
Man.
now. You know what I'm saying?
Man, cheese is amazing though.
But it's so good. Like
For
I'm
real.
willing to
It's
die
really
for it.
good.
I'm willing to die for it.
Isn't literally every single good meal cheese is a part of that? So that's a
Except
component of it.
pancakes. There's no cheese in pancakes.
But I don't eat pancakes trash. I don't eat anything.
Oh,
I
my-
don't eat
what?
pancakes, waffles.
French toast is much better. French toast is better. than
Pancakes are great trash, though.
Nah, man. Any breaded
Like that's really like the only thing that I'm a master of is pancakes.
flapjack?
Yes.
I mean, it's kind of hard to mess pancakes up.
No, it's
I've
not.
seen
No, it's not.
people.
It's super easy to mess up a flapjack, bro.
I've seen people just not know how to make pancakes.
Yeah, for sure.
The best Coney Island pancakes are between Nicky's and Kirby's.
All
know
Coney
what?
Island pancakes are the same. You blink
Yeah.
your eye,
Yeah.
the syrup is gone.
Pretty
For
much,
real, it
yeah.
just absorbs all the syrup.
I've had some bad Coney Island pancakes.
Well, your first mistake was getting pancakes from Coney Island.
I agree.
I got to
So
experiment
many-
sometimes.
So
I
many
agree.
other incredible menu items.
Seriously,
I
I'd rather go to
know.
Denny's or IHOP than
I would
to,
never go to Denny's for anything. And
not even the breakfast. What is it? The
That's corporation, man.
yo,
man, you know what? You
I
gotta.
got a Denny's discrimination check back in the 90s.
Wait, hold on. I need to hear this story real quick before we get into this.
Wait, no.
There was a class action lawsuit
Yeah.
for discrimination against Denny's, and we just so happened to have gone to one during that time period. And my dad wrote letters for everybody that went, and we all got like $300 checks.
Oh,
What?
shoot. Oh, shit.
did you go back to Denny's or did you go to Big Boys? Did you spend that money at Ponderosa?
I love the buffet at Big Boy. The breakfast
My
buffet.
girl hates that I love Big Boy.
Hey,
Look,
big boy.
Just shout out to Angie.
I am Eastside through and through. She hates it. Oh, she rolls her eyes.
The Big Boy Slim Jims. Man, I used to love those things as a kid. I used to go to Big Boy all the time. I love they salad bar.
Salad bar's
I
fire.
like their breakfast.
Yeah, the breakfast is good. I would say they burgers are a little overrated. I
I used
wouldn't
to
go
love
there.
them as a kid.
Used to love them as a kid.
But every day, all closing now. Like the one on Jefferson closed.
Yeah.
Wanting East Point closed.
I think the one in East Point closed. I know for sure one on, dang, it might be in Madison Heights. That might be open. But yeah, it's dying off right now.
Yeah, it's trash.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I need to buy one.
You know what? That's a
On the
good
low.
investment
I
for
need
sure.
to buy one for sure.
For sure. But you know what? We're going to get into real quick. I saw this thing on television. You all know Rashida Tlaib. She's the new congresswoman. She's representing the district. I forgot what district she's in. But she had this statement. She was at a bar talking to some of her constituents. And she said, Donald Trump about to impeach this motherfucker. Right? So she was like, people got backlash. Like, people like outraged about it. Like, you told Donald Trump that you're going to impeach him? You called him an MF? Like, how hypocritical is this of us to get so upset at her for saying MF, but Donald Trump talking about grabbing women by the hoo-has and stuff like that? Like, what's going on with us today, man? Like, where is our sort of our compass right now? We just all off. It was mainly the Republicans though doing this.
Oh no, it's the exact same thing. It's how it's always been.
Yeah.
Women have always been second class citizens here in America. So they'll never get the same allowances that we as men get. So
It's crazy,
like we have a president who's literally been accused of rape,
man.
like for real, like paying women, like please be quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't tell him about my escapades. but it's because
that privilege as a man. And
it's the woman is the one thing that we can always have under our thumb. You know what I'm saying?
Like Kanye West cussed in the White House,
right
in front of the president.
He's insane though.
I mean, Kanye,
he's insane.
He's got some issues.
No, he has all the issues. He doesn't have some.
He's insane.
Hey, his Twitter rants though, man, he be like on some crazy stuff.
You still read those rants?
I muted Kanye.
Why didn't you unfollow him?
What?
Why didn't you unfollow him?
I never followed him in the first place, but I got tired of people retweeting.
Yeah.
And then the way my Twitter, I'm not sure if everybody else's Twitter said it, if somebody likes a tweet, it'll show up on your timeline.
Why is your Twitter different than everybody else?
I don't know.
You got the beta?
Well, I don't use night mode, so apparently I
love night mode.
I don't.
What is night mode?
So it's basically Twitter, the same Twitter feed, but the screen is blue.
But the screen is like a dark blue, and then the text is white.
Wait a minute.
I'm telling you, man, it's amazing.
Wait a minute.
Like, hey,
let me see how do I do this?
So if you go to your settings, hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick.
I'm gonna pretend I'm on Twitter and act like I'm joining.
So click on your little profile picture, and at the bottom it's gonna be like a little moon type thing, a crescent moon.
I don't got it. Mine trash.
Let's see. I'm telling you, man, it's a.
Oh my God!
It's so much better. It's so much better.
Exact same Twitter.
It's exact
but now
same.
I'm interested.
But
now I want to know what's going on.
Hey, now I'm on here all the time. I'm like, all right, I actually like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shannon.
And so, I'm telling you, man, this was a godsend when I turned this little blue screen on. I'm like, I could actually sit on here for hours now. At first, I'm like, this little light is too bright. It's getting my eyes. But yeah, man, I'm glad that we were able to show you something, man, while you here.
But you guys just ruined me because the first thing that came across my timeline is Memphis Bleak. Shout out to the do-rag god, Memphis Bleak.
The do-rag god.
What? The Messiah. He did a shampoo commercial wearing the do-rag. He's the god. Can't tell me nothing about the Memphis man.
Oh, my God, man. But
what else we got? Government shutdown still happening?
Government shutdown still happening.
There was a news story out of, I can't remember that city in Michigan where the bridge cars didn't work.
For real? So they taking away people's benefits now?
I don't know if they're taking them away. I know that they have funding through this month, but if the government shutdown goes past this month, they will not be able to issue benefits for the month of February.
See, they did this on purpose. He knew what he was doing. He like, yeah, I'm about to give it to all these people, man, these poor people.
There's no way that he can be able to get away with this. Like, honestly, like, there's no way. Like, there has to be another plan in place. Like, these. Well, first of all, they issued orders of impeachment, right?
Yeah. They're moving forward with that.
Right, they're moving forward with
but they ain't going to pass the Senate though.
So this is the thing. It's gonna be. This has to be his trump card. No pun intended. It has to be. It has to be like, look. I'll leave. I'll put everything back in order. Just give me my immunity. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think it is. Like, there's no way that. Yeah. You would think there's no way that you would be able to do your people like this. Although Flint has been without clean water for years, so you can't put anything past our government.
It's true. And the fact is too, when Mueller, once his investigation is over, I think they said it's gonna be in February. You're right. I think that could be a situation where he's like, all right, I'll just go ahead and quit, walk away.
Let me go.
Yep, give my immunity, and then
it's gonna be like, all right, you pulled me over, you found the weed. You can keep the weed.
But I mean, personally, any way we get him out of office, I'm fine with it.
I mean, why to get Mike Pence? Like, it's not gonna be that much better, bro.
That's what I've been saying.
But it's not gonna be that much better. Now you're dealing with an actual politician who knows how to play the game.
Yeah, like Trump is not efficient.
Yeah, he's
That's
a laughing stock.
Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Steve Bannon is like a straight up white supremacist, but to his credit, he kept the White House inefficient.
Yeah.
But it's a catch-22 because you rather deal with somebody who's natural politician and corrupt, or someone that's like chaotic and unpredictable and corrupt.
That's true.
At least I can see it. At least I can see it coming with Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, but you can't really though. Like Trump is he's so volatile. Like any other day, he could say something. Like with the whole pulling the troops out of Syria, out of Afghanistan, that was just like spur of the moment. He ain't really think that through.
Like, it's coming. Like, you're prepared for the absolute.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, because he crazy.
You're like, oh, what's gonna be? What's today?
Yeah.
With Pence, you're gonna look up and be like, yo.
Yeah. You won't even know. You won't even see it.
Like, we slaves again? Like, what the hell?
Calculated.
You know what I'm saying?
That is true. Yeah, but Pence, I mean, he's one of those like religious zealots who he's a little nuts. Like he's I'm sure he's a racist as well. I hate to put allegations on there like that, but just from his policies and what he supports, I mean, that's all I can really say on this. But I just think that I would prefer to have, personally, Trump out of the White House and get some sense of stability back, kind of. I don't know.
Because this is embarrassing.
It is.
Like,
it is
We the
embarrassing.
laughing stock
It is.
of the world. That's crazy.
I definitely talk to people from other countries, and they're like,
Hey, I'm trying to get my Canadian
we look
passport.
like fools, don't we?
man, we look like entire fools.
Y'all, get y'all dual citizenship.
Entire fools.
Canada is 15 minutes away, y'all. It's close. You know, get your dual citizenship. Get out of here.
They won't let me
Do what
go
you
to
gotta
Windsor.
They say we won't let you back.
I gotta get something off my record first.
Hey, y'all, any
It
other
happens.
news y'all had? Anything going on this week in terms of politics, current events?
I mean, I can discuss my little Facebook snafu, but I could say that for my segment.
Oh, yeah, say that for your 2 cents. We can always talk about that later.
Okay.
So, Shayna, you listening? You ain't listening to nothing?
I haven't been, not this week. Like, nothing new. I did, shout out to my daughter's father. He gave me the Riding Dirty vinyl. Like, it came to the house yesterday, but it was supposed to be for Christmas.
The vinyl? Though?
That's pretty fire.
UGK.
I
That's pretty
screamed. I was like,
Dang.
Now the question is, do you have a record player?
I do. I'm gonna
You
get
get-
one.
you get one
I
for
don't-
cheap.
You can get one for cheap for like
Yeah.
$100.
For real.
Like,
They
Yeah, I
got-
don't have one.
They got Victrolas for cheap.
Yeah, I went to Target, bought some.
But are those the ones that you have to have? You have to have the whole like setup. Because the ones I'm talking about, they come with the speaker already built in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like it has the whole setup. It has the vinyl, the CD, the cassette tape, the Bluetooth.
Yeah.
You
the
know,
cassette tape.
yeah.
I'm gonna drop a cassette this year. I'm gonna do a project straight to
Oh
cassette
my
this
god!
year.
Like,
That just reminds me
I
of
don't
just
have
throwback.
any cassettes.
That's the point.
anymore.
That's the
For
point.
real,
It's
it's-
for collectors.
Seriously, that's just, you know what? I kind of miss CDs, cassettes. I kind of miss that stuff.
Do you
Some
remember?
of
Do you remember when CDs came in a long cardboard sleeve that you could cut yourself on?
Yes. They don't remember.
I don't remember.
I
These are
don't remember
90s.
that.
You know, I was
These
born.
are 90s babies.
I was born in the '90s, so I mean,
Oh,
I-
I'm proud
Yeah.
to be a '90s baby. I'm proud.
Hey, double tap that.
To
Man.
grow up in the 2000s, like
I grew up.
trash. What are you talking about?
See, being born in 1990, I had the best of both worlds. I can enjoy the '90s. I was still a little bit young.
You couldn't enjoy the 90s. You don't remember the 90s.
Straight
I
up,
remember some of the good stuff.
I had hip hop that was fun in my generation. I'm just gonna be real. It was
Oh,
fun.
you had the little snap.
We
That
We
was
had hip hop
fun.
that was good though. There's a difference.
We had
Well,
a balance. We had Uncle Luke and Nas.
See,
You know what I'm saying? Right. We had X Clan and the Poison.
I explored that later in life.
We
But
had
while I
that-
was growing up, you know, I didn't have the KODs,
Y'all
the kids
had-
on drugs.
we had the dance, right? We had the snap.
Y'all had
the
Laffy Taffy.
Laffy
Yeah, come
Taffy.
on.
We had
Oh,
the,
and the
the
size
super
of
crank
those
that soldier
Crank
boy.
that
white
Soldier.
T-shirts.
the chicken noodle soup.
Hey, I feel
with a
so
soda
embarrassed
on the side.
looking at the T-shirts I had back in the early 2000s. These things went down to my knees.
Did
I'm
you leave
like,
the sticker on them? Right
you
there
know what?
that
Yeah,
said
the hat too with the
3X?
sticker on the hat.
Oh, dear Lord.
You have to leave the
was bad.
sticker on the hat.
You don't have to.
It was
You
bad.
didn't have to. You chose to.
It was like I had no, just like all just upper body,
That was an
no
official
legs.
stamp, though.
Yo, they were from Champs. They were 3 for $20. Like,
I'm talking about the ones from Lids, but yeah.
oh, you talking about the hats? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, the
Okay.
official. Yeah.
Same difference, man.
Yeah, pretty
crazy.
much, man. Pretty much.
It's crazy, but
The actual stamp was it saying New Era on the side, bro. That was it. You didn't need the silver boy.
so it's some nostalgic.
But I miss those days. Like I miss like Soldier Boy because I remember just like thinking when Soldier Boy came out, like it can't get any worse than.
No, it got worse.
Exponentially worse.
That was just the.
I remember thinking it couldn't get worse than Nelly. That's
hated
how
Nelly.
old I am.
we were just at the cusp of terrible
Nelly.
music.
I'm like,
Marv,
it can't get any
hated
worse
Nelly.
than Nelly.
Marv, I gotta ask you this. Shayna was stuck on this question when I asked her, but I gotta ask you. Outkast versus Tribe, who you got?
Outcast for sure.
Oh wow, that was
For
easy.
sure. Tribe is
Man,
RIP 5.
yeah.
I think Tribe is a little overrated. I think Q-Tip is by far one of the most overrated rappers of all time. He has an incredible
Whoa.
voice, but rhyme wise, he was very basic.
That's how you
I
make
just
a,
love the
a
infusion.
statement.
I just love the infusion.
He has
of,
an
like,
incredible
the
ear.
jazz and stuff.
He has an incredible ear, but rhyme wise, he was very basic. And I always thought De La was much better than them, and they never got the respect they deserved. So out of that camp, I always thought De La was better than Tribe. Tribe put out good albums though. They were
Yeah,
a
for
good
sure.
team for sure. But Outkast was. You know what I say about Outkast? I always said that if Big Boy were in a group with anybody else in the world, he would be the focal.
Yes, he would.
But he was just
in the
He's
group
outshined by Andre.
He was
Like
in a group.
Andre is just that.
Well,
he's in a group
outshined?
with
an alien. He was in a group.
I mean,
with
but
an alien.
Andre's that eccentric
I
character
give that man his just due though. Outshined. Listen, it was
No, he
yin,
outshined.
it was yin and yang.
it's just, man, it's something about Andre 3000, his style, his flow.
Let me ask you something. How many times have you listened to Speaker Box?
Actually, you know what? I have listened to it a little bit more than Love Below. I gotta be
You are
honest.
the first person on the face of the planet who's ever said that.
Well, hold up. When I was growing up, I was a little confused by Love Below. You know, I didn't have too much of a mature mind, so I listened to Speaker Box more. As I grew up, I listened to both a little equally.
Because you were still young.
How young were you?
Shoot.
I was like 12, 13.
I was.
How old are you?
I was a.
How old are you?
I was a sophomore in
25.
college when that came
I'm
out.
not talking to you no more, fam. I'm not talking to you no more. I can't have any
I was a
music
sophomore in
discussions.
college.
I can't have any music discussions with a 25-year-old.
I loved
can't you?
both of them.
Because, man, I'm going to sound like the old man. Like back
you
in my
don't.
day.
Right.
Nah,
You
bro.
don't. I like the
Like
same
kids
stuff you
these
like.
days.
I loved both of them, but I did listen to the Love Below more than I listened to Speaker Box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was age, though. I can appreciate him saying, he didn't have a grasp.
Now, listen, I'm not
of
saying
what
Big Boy
Love
is
was.
better than Andre or Speaker Box is better than Love Below. They're two different projects. Don't get me wrong, but yeah.
I've always said that. If he were in the group with anybody else, he'd be the focal. He'd be the man.
Yeah.
Because Big Boy is really good.
Oh, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
his
really
solo
good.
projects are solid.
He's really good. You know what I'm saying? But he was just he was the bottle that the lightning was caught in, bro.
If you look at it, Big Boy has gotten like more experimental than Andre with his music now. Like he's gotten like with a lot of experimental producers over the years.
But this is what I'll say about Andre. Why I always have the ultimate respect for him. He's very honest, and the fact that they ask him like, "Yo, when you dropping new music?" and he's like, "Bro, I don't have my finger on this pulse. Like I would never, like I can't do what I do isn't for these children."
I mean,
Makes
if he says
sense.
he's done, he's done. You know, if he doesn't want to do it, if he's not feeling it, then you shouldn't push him into that group.
On the flip side, though, you know the argument with Andre is always is he one of the best? Is he top 5, top 10? And I had this conversation with someone who totally changed my thought process on it. And it was like I was a huge fan. I'm a huge supporter, and so it was like, yo, he's top 5, he's incredible, blah blah blah. And he was like, well, Marv, Andre has never put out an entire full rap project by himself. So you're basing these things on him only having to carry half of the load of a song, and you're basing this on feature verses. Remember that one year where he dropped like 4 features in a year, but he killed them?
Yeah.
It was like the Walk It Out remix, like throw some D's on it,
Sure.
like some other joints, and he killed them. But it was like, bro, it's 4 verses out of the year. That's 12 months.
But he
if I only had to rap 4 times out of the year, I would be incredible too.
Yeah.
So we put him. We all know that he's incredible. But for body of work by himself, he may not deserve to be in that conversation.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
but he's an anomaly though. I look at him like Jay Electronica. Jay Electronica doesn't even have a full album yet, but he's still like great on songs, especially when he's featured.
I told him he should never drop an album. Literally told him, don't ever drop an album.
Keep it in the mystery.
Don't ever. Once you drop, because no matter what you do, it's never going to be good enough.
Yeah.
And the
Trying to
mystique,
At this
is
point.
chasing.
gone.
Keep
and the
chasing.
mystique is gone.
I think he would
Drop a
crush-
song a year.
I think he would crush it.
But once we get the album, then it's like, now it's on to the next.
Yep.
If he doesn't drop the album, it's always like, oh, what's next? What's next? What's next? Once he does it, or if he does it, I literally told him to his face, like, bro, if you drop an album, you are an absolute idiot.
How about
'Cause you gonna
dropping
kill
one?
everything.
How about dropping one album forever?
No, you can't drop an album now. You can't drop an album.
Not
You
just-
can't.
I
You're
think
literally
I want to hear that album.
you're literally still getting booked off a song that you dropped almost 10 years ago.
Wow.
Song was classic.
For
Yeah,
real.
the song was classic.
Amazing.
Now what if he has a classic song on a very average album?
Yeah, that's true. That's
It's happened
true.
before.
It takes away.
You don't want to dilute
And
your
he kills
body
his
of work.
features also.
It takes away. I told him,
Yeah.
like, bro, if you drop an album, you are a fool. You are a complete fool.
Yeah.
Drop a song a year.
And what did he say?
They allow you. I mean, no, I'm gonna drop it. Oh, bro, you stupid.
Oh man. Anything? So Shayna, you didn't listen to nothing else this
No,
week?
but speaking of like great features, like Cole had an awesome 2018 as far as features.
Cole
For
made me
sure.
like him this year. Man, he made me like him last year. He made me like him last year.
yeah.
real.
Cole did his thing.
For real, I've always been like very on the fence about Cole. Like, it's like Talib Kweli to me. Like, you are like, you don't do it for me. But I was very impressed.
It's the voice.
I don't think it's the voice. I just think it's the.
It's slow paced. It's slow paced hip hop.
I don't even have a problem with the slow pace because I love West Side Gun. I love Conway. I love that whole movement. And that's super slow. I just think I don't want to say it's boring.
It's always
but
introspective.
I don't even have a problem with the introspective rap. It's just average.
Yeah.
It's passable.
Okay.
It's
I
passable.
can see that.
It's nothing that there are never any fireworks. It's like winning a game by 1 point. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you won. It was 1 point.
Yeah, it's like it's an in the moment kind of thing, because I remember In the Moment I thought For Your Eyes Only and KOD were great projects, but I don't really re-listen to them like I do Born Sinner, because Born Sinner was more eclectic. You know what I mean?
And I can respect that he does all of his own production, and I can respect that there aren't any features. I really can respect it, but it's just like once I've listened to it once, I'm straight. So I you know what I'm saying? I get that. Like there's no me riding down the street like, man, you know what I want to hear?
I mean, would you equate it to the San Antonio Spurs of the rap game? Just like sort of, you like they good. I
Tim
mean,
Duncan got 5 rings, bro.
Right. I don't want to see them every
he's
night.
booking the same arenas as Drake and Kendrick. Like,
For sure.
True, yeah.
Oh, he has his fan base.
For sure.
Yeah.
He is definitely a trendsetter, and he's definitely one of the front runners of that class for sure.
Man.
I won't argue that. But I think the joint with Royce made me really appreciate him. It made me appreciate him a little bit more. Because it was always like, all right.
Pablo Boat.
Yeah, but
That's a good one.
that joint really, I was like, oh, okay, Cole, I see you. And then I started listening a little differently, I think.
have y'all ever been on a Pablo boat?
Yes, my auntie Davina
I
got
was
into a
talking
fight.
to the 90s.
I've never.
Pablo was closed by then.
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Wait. Not
Pablo might have
close
been
recently.
closed by then. No,
I'll let you have your moment today, Shayna. I'll let
I know
you
she's
have
trying to
your
get on.
moment
She's
today.
trying to get on us because we a little bit younger.
I'll let
It's
you have
cool.
your
How
moment.
old are you?
28.
I can accept that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm
can-
close. I'm
I
close to
can't
30.
be
bro.
accepted. Okay.
Nah, 25, fam. Like, your insurance just went down.
You could just rent a car.
No, at 26 it'll go down, not 25,
rent
26.
A car.
Just
rent a car, fam.
It's all right, man. We ain't gonna hate on you because you're a
It's
little bit
all
younger.
good.
It's cool.
It's all good.
25, man. I was an absolute loser. I was a loser, man.
Oh man.
You miles ahead of me, bro. So I can respect it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Man,
I try.
You want to talk about your 2 cents? You want to get into it?
Yeah, let me get to my 2 cents, man. Let me so I talk about movies on here, movies I've seen. Let me get 2 out the way. I saw The Favorite with Emma Stone and Rachel Weisz, independent, like 19th century comedy, a little surreal. It's pretty good, man. Emma does her thing, Rachel does her thing. It's dope. I saw If Beale Street Could Talk, based on a novel by James Baldwin, directed by Barry Jenkins, who made Moonlight. Very good movie.
I gotta see
Very
it.
good. You got great actors in it. I know Shayna saw it too. You got Regina King.
She's the GOAT. She's the GOAT.
she's risk,
literally,
man.
like
She is killing it.
I feel like we had a conversation about this. Like Regina
with
King
7
is
seconds when 7 seconds came out. Like, she's a beast.
she is.
She's the GOAT for sure.
And just like, so, but she's underrated though. Like people don't really
So let me.
give her that much credit.
No, definitely. Let me give.
And she's been working for like 30 years. Like,
Yeah, like she's
consistently.
a child actress.
Yeah, she's been working
Yes.
for 30 years consistently.
Yeah,
Putting
let me
in
give
that
a
work.
quick synopsis right quick. So it's about this woman, this young couple. I don't know what it's an era, early 1970s Harlem. So the boyfriend is in prison for a crime he didn't commit, and the
Like
girl,
all black men.
yeah, and the girlfriend is trying her best to get him out, but it's more than that.
all
It's
black
like, yeah, like all black women. And she's working. She's strong. She has a baby coming, and it's a great film, man. There's conflict, there's drama, there's romance, there's comedy. The movie just has everything. Like I fell in love with it. What do you think, Shayna?
The scene with Paperboy like kind of made me cry.
Brian Tyree Henry,
Brian- yeah.
He did a great job too. He owned that
And-
scene.
Yeah, like, and he wasn't in the movie very much, but when he was talking about prison, like yeah, I mean the movie is sad, but that literally that scene like literally brought me to tears. Like he killed that shit, like that scene.
I mean, is it Oscar worthy? Like, would it be?
Definitely. It got nominated for some Golden Globes. Like it's nominated for Best Picture.
It's
Regina King.
It's a very beautiful film. It was shot very beautifully. I think this was the lead actress's breakout role.
Mm-hmm. The lead actress is, I believe, Kiki Lane, and her boyfriend was Stephen James, also another great actor. I think he's on Homecoming, ain't he?
Yeah, he's on Homecoming. He's Jesse Owens.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
We also had some OGs in this one. I think Michael Beach was in this one. We had Dave Franco, Ed Skrein.
Was Leon in it?
No, Leon wasn't in this
I'm
one.
straight.
He should have been.
I'm straight.
He should
I
have
don't
been in
respect.
it.
I don't respect any black movie without Leon, bro. I'm straight.
He
For real
hasn't
though.
been in a movie in a minute.
But
It's
he's
been a
the
minute,
GOAT.
though.
He's the GOAT.
He is the GOAT.
He's the GOAT.
Hey, for real.
Clifton Powell is the GOAT too. Low key.
like
Clifton Powell is
I like
only
Clifton
Clifton Powell is like the theater GOAT because
Okay.
he's in all
So-
those plays. He's in the plays.
Yeah.
But like screen wise, like Leon for sure.
Man, his name is just Leon.
Leon. Like, that's just when you go by
For
one
sure.
name, you know you.
Shep. He's Shep, bro. Can't be mad at Shep.
I also got to give a shout out to Tiana Parris. She was in this one too. She played the older sister.
Yes,
she
she
did a great job, especially with this whole big family scene. If you ever see it, that's like just a great family argument scene.
And what's the name of this movie again?
If Bill Street could talk.
And it's in theaters.
Is it in the national theaters or is it just like the little?
It's at Maynard and AMC Gratiot.
Okay.
I know, and it's at the Riviera also.
Riviera's fire. I love it.
Okay. I gotta
But,
check that out.
I'm gonna check that out too.
I gotta take a few seconds to go with Eric because I saw Aquaman.
Boom.
Dog, I'm telling you, man.
It was
this-
alright, man.
Man, listen, man. This is one of the best DC movies I've seen post Dark Knight.
But
But
that's a
not
low
saying-
bar.
But that's not saying
No, it
a
is.
lot.
Trust me, it is saying something. It was entertaining, wasn't boring.
DC movies
Listen,
aren't
man.
that
Hold
good
on.
though.
The only bad thing I can say about it was a little too long, but it had action throughout.
It did have action
Jason
throughout.
Momoa is a charming lead actor. He did his job. You know what I'm saying? Nicole Kidman, all of them was killing it. William Dafoe was killing it.
Yeah.
Listen, man, it was an entertaining
it was-
movie,
it was-
and it was beautiful too. Like
I
the
was
colors,
entertained, but then don't you think it went a little bit too far in terms of like the
length.
storylines? It was doing too much.
It went too far in length, but other than that, I was entertained. I didn't fall asleep. Is what I'm trying to tell you.
You fell asleep in Aquaman?
No, I didn't fall asleep. I'm just saying like the whole story about the pirates at the beginning, and then the father and son, and then that whole thing they could have cut that out. It wasn't necessary to the whole story.
You might have a point there,
Right.
But I still thought it was entertaining. Did
But it
you
was-
see it?
I haven't seen it yet. I do plan on seeing it though, because I thought the way that they're developing the Aquaman character in the movies is impressive. So I wanted to see what they did with a full length.
Listen,
see.
this is a big deal because DC. I've always been on the fence about DC, but this movie and Wonder Woman, they pushing it in the right direction.
Well, you know what's crazy is that the live action DC movies are always terrible, but their animated movies are incredible.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
and Marvel's animated films are just
Are
okay.
trash, and their live action movies are always incredible.
That's
Yeah.
something to be said.
Yep.
I guess you're right on that.
The animated DC movies are incredible. Like I used to clown. I used to clown my man for watching them. Like, yo, you would like grow up.
Randy got to drop
And
some
you sat down and
knowledge.
watched.
And he was like, yo, like, I watched Flashpoint Paradox, and it
I
was
heard that shit cold.
yo, it was incredible.
I heard
Look,
it's cold.
see it.
Look, bro, Wonder Woman and Aquaman were fucking.
Hey, imagine the
And
baby they make, man.
Look,
It's a little
they
super-
was fucking, and Aquaman wife walked in on him, saw him, and then challenged Wonder Woman to a fight. And Wonder Woman killed Aquaman wife, like cut her head off and put her crown on. Was like, bitch, what's up with it?
like I'm the.
And Aquaman was like, yo, you out of pocket. And they went to war. Like, it was crazy.
Oh my god.
It was crazy.
That sounds like an
bro.
alternate universe, right?
Yo,
My God.
it was absolutely insane. It was insanity. I was
DC's
glued.
pretty solid on TV too, with all the stuff on the CW.
Yo, have
Arrow.
you
Yeah.
watched Titans? The thing on
I haven't watched Titans.
Yo, Titans is great.
They say that's a dark Teen Titans.
Yo, Titans is
mean,
great.
Marvel TV shows, Cloak and Dagger.
Cloak and
I
Dagger's
like
good.
that one. The Runaways.
Runaways is fantastic.
is really good. So I got to give Marvel.
Agents of
props.
Shield is probably the best TV show there is, though.
I haven't
I
gotten
heard
into that one
so
yet.
good.
Eric is a Marvel super fan, if you haven't noticed.
Okay.
I mean, I just like Marvel's better than DC.
And he's a Lions
personally.
apologist.
It came out right before Captain America: Winter Soldier. So the first few episodes are kind of slow because they don't really have the movie
Yeah.
to build with. But as
Makes
soon as the
sense.
movie drops, then Agents of Shield takes off.
All right, I got to.
It's got 5 seasons, and season 6 they delayed until after Avengers 4. So
Oh, okay.
you have some time
Man.
to catch up.
All right, I have to.
The only other thing I gotta say on my side though is that we got a new Facebook name finally. I'm not gonna get into the whole story, but we are now Podcast Detroit. Can we talk on Facebook? So
Thank
I had
God.
to get that changed.
Because we were unofficial. Can we talk for a long time?
I told that near unavailable, non-existent Facebook customer service that I wasn't playing with them, man.
Seriously, because it's
They
no.
had to change that name.
Okay.
Like we tried changing the name multiple times. Like
Right.
I don't know how many times you tried. I know I tried at least a few.
Yeah,
And I'm
but
like, oh, it's not available. You know, you can't do it.
it's changed now. So have y'all seen anything before we get into this topic? Any new
I
movies?
watched a show on Netflix called You.
Yeah, I heard the book is good.
That shit is crazy.
What was it about?
I'm trying not to give too much away, but a guy like basically stalks his way into this woman's life.
That's usually how we do.
Right.
And it's from his POV,
Slide
right?
Yes,
knows-
from his point of view.
Yeah.
I believe the lead actor was on Gossip Girl.
Yeah, he was. Penn Bagley, I think his name is.
Yes.
So basically, slid into the DMs. You're like, all right.
No, he met her in person and then stalked her via the internet and then kind of stalked her via real life.
That
and
sounds
then
like
kinda,
all relationships nowadays.
That's pretty normal.
In 2019,
This
right?
guy is a killer, guys. It's
Oh,
not
sorry.
like our relationships,
Dang.
okay?
That's pretty normal now as well.
So, all right. So should I go see it or should I take a look?
Go
yeah,
see
you
it.
should definitely take a look. It's wild.
Yep. I finally got into Handmaid's Tale. So I've been watching. I watched the
great
first,
show,
it's a
man.
great
first like
show.
6 episodes so far. It's really good. I mean, it's a little crazy right now. I'm trying to figure out what's going on, but I'm sure it's going to answer some of the questions a little bit further down the line. But
Yeah, definitely.
for those who don't know, it's sort of like this. I guess the U.S. government was overthrown by this, I don't know, rogue group of people, and now women are forced to be sort of submissive.
Mm-hmm.
Person in
Everybody
society.
but a certain select group of women caught STD. Like all the women caught STDs, or they couldn't have kids.
Right. And so there are some women who are fertile, and they're called the handsmaids. And so they got to wear these red dresses and all that.
Yeah.
Let them know
Like,
they're
and they're-
open for business.
Right, and they pretty much they raped. You know, so- yeah,
that got dark.
they rape them.
Yeah, Elizabeth Moss kills it in that show. It's based off a classic novel too.
Yeah, it's pretty good. So I'm gonna try to watch the next couple of seasons. I know it's 3 seasons.
2.
So,
Yeah.
2. Okay. So yeah, it's pretty good so far. So thumbs up for that.
All right, y'all want to get into it?
This topic. It's gonna be a heavy one, y'all.
This is a heavy one.
All right, who here has seen Surviving R. Kelly?
I saw the the 3rd and 4th segments.
Okay.
I didn't see the other segments. Shout out to Dream Hamptons from Detroit.
From Detroit, yeah. Went to Cass, I believe. Cass say.
Dang, I feel like I overdid it. I saw all 6.
I saw 5.
I binge watched them last night.
I didn't. What did you learn that you didn't already
That's
know?
kind of true though.
That honestly, I didn't learn anything I didn't already know, but it was more so the testimonies and the journeys, the documented journeys of the parents of the alleged, captive teens that really won me over though, because the cameras kind of like followed them in like kind of like real moments of trying to capture their kids. That was pretty emotional. But let's just get into like what it's about in general.
Yeah, so essentially it goes through the story of R. Kelly from his childhood, sort of him being abused as a kid, and then leading to his perversion for younger girls.
Mhm.
And so it talks about, at least the first episode talks about sort of the background story, sort of coming of age, and then sort of his relationship with Aaliyah. Second episode talks a little bit more about it wasn't the
His wife,
his ex-wife. Third episode talks about the trial that with the girl he peed on. I hate to put it that blunt though.
Well, I mean that's yeah.
And so I mean, it essentially talks about all these situations, dealing with his legal issues, his love for younger girls, and then sort of how we have given him a pass. It's kind of sad just seeing the testimonials of all these young women who he just ruined. He ruined their lives. Like this.
Yeah. There has been a pass given to R. Kelly for many
It
years.
has. And some people will still listen to his music in the club.
His streams and sales went up.
For real?
They
Yeah, but
went
he did.
up.
Yeah, but he did a publishing deal a couple years ago. He not making no money.
Yeah, he not making no money off of it, but the streams and his sales went up.
There's no such thing as bad publicity, I guess.
Like that's the thing. Like, what is going to come of this? There are like a lot of people having conversations on the internet,
Right.
but how is this going to translate over into something constructive off of the internet?
Straight up, I think, and I'm not joking. I think a family reunion, "Step in the Name of Love," might be skipped over. I think it might be skipped over. I'm
I
it's
heard
about
it on
time.
the radio.
I mean, it's about time that it is, though. I think that for this guy, he has a history of it. Like, this is something that, we knew what was going on.
Yeah.
We just didn't say anything because we thought, this is our cousin. This is our cousin R. Kelly. Like, he plays all the good
He ain't
music.
my cousin, but yeah.
I mean,
I get what you're saying. I feel like black journalism fails us a lot, but they did not fail us when it came to R. Kelly. yeah.
Vibe wrote about it in '95, and then they wrote about it again in 2004. And a more extensive write up in 2004 than the one in 1995. But they wrote about it. And when he was on the cover, it wasn't like, R&B superstar R. Kelly drops new album. It was like, this man is a predator, like, basically.
Even Torre's infamous BET interview, like,
He's
do
like,
you like
how
teenage
young we
girls? Well, how young we talking?
Right.
And
That should be a
Torre has that look on
emphatic
his
no.
face like, dog, what? Teenage girls, underage. He's like, so you mean like 19? He's like, well, 19 and under. Oh, I don't mess with anybody illegal if that's what you're saying. Like, he didn't just straight out say, like, no.
But then he married Aaliyah at 15, and then they forged the marriage license.
I think what we have to understand realistically is regardless of how predatory he is, he's a commodity. He's a commodity. He's big business. So people can always rationalize and justify shitty actions behind the power of a dollar. This man is obviously like he hasn't hid it. This isn't a thing where he's like, I know I'm doing something wrong and keep it on the low.
Yeah.
In his mind, he hasn't done anything wrong. He's fucked up. Like he's gone. But we as a community feel like we have so few people to cling to or praise. And then a lot of us have uncles that the older people say, hey, don't leave those kids around.
Right.
Like things of that nature in the black community are always swept under the rug. They're never ever brought to the forefront. They're never attacked. And it just so happens that this man can write a good song. Yeah. But it's been in plain sight. It's literally been in plain sight. Like these are more cries for help than him trying to do something devious, I feel. He's still fucked up though. Yeah. And he should definitely be shot throughout the thing. You know what I'm saying? But like it was nothing new. Like we've all known this. I just think the outrage now is that we're able to put voices and faces to these claims. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
There's been some reevaluations too. Like even when knowing like when he wrote Michael Jackson's "You Are Not Alone," that he was inspired by a girlfriend of his that had a miscarriage. So that's the meaning of the song to him.
That's crazy.
And even Chance the Rapper and some people coming out saying, "Oh, well, I regret making that song with R. Kelly." That was kind of like a little sketchy thing, but it is what it is.
But let me tell you, but Chance is a cornball for that because Chance is a cornball not for doing the song with R. Kelly, not for apologizing for doing a song with R. Kelly, but his reasoning why. Like, I didn't believe the victims because they were black women.
And then
like,
he
yo,
said
that's
that he
corny,
didn't say
fam.
that, and then somebody was like, "Oh, here's
the audio, big
here's
fam."
the audio."
That's crazy.
Like he said, like that's what he said.
Unless it was doctored, and if it was doctored, then I apologize. I recant.
Yeah.
But bro, for you to say, look, I never understood the shit that women, specifically black women, have to deal with. Yeah. Like for real. Sure. Like it is different. It is completely different from having to give out a fake number so a nigga won't shoot you. Right. Or having to deal with a terrible baby father or whatever. Like, yo, like we haven't protected our women. And this story is the culmination of that. Because we've literally been uplifting a fucking predator for 20 years. Yeah. Like for real. I know women from Chicago who literally told me, like, yo, when I was in high school, R. Kelly, there was a McDonald's across the street from my high school where he would literally park in the parking lot of the McDonald's, and the young girls would go to the bathroom and get gussied up, like trying to get chose. Like 13, 14. Like, because they knew that's what he was on. Like, that's crazy that nobody is blowing his head off. But the parents realistically have to shoulder some of that blame too, because a lot of these parents are damn near selling their children to this man for the hopes of fame or for the hopes of success or changing their lives.
And how much of that do you think has to do with poverty?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah, but
this is an opportunity. Like this is a come up.
It's a come up for sure.
Because that's not happening to Diddy's kids.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like they can't. They're not about to get chose by somebody rich and pop because their dad is wealthy. So.
And a lot of the blame too goes to his entourage. Like they were just yes men.
No, you can't blame them.
Man,
that's my check. My check stopped.
That
check stopped if I buck up.
Somebody was like, "Man, I knew this comedian was like, I knew that nigga was fucked up because whenever he would play ball, he wouldn't get off the court after he lost.
Hey, he was like, "No, I'm running again. No, run this back." Hey, but I understand that's they check, but they boy could have went to jail, and your check would have stopped anyway.
You gotta ride. You gotta ride a wave till it stopped.
Man, but if
It's like selling dope.
But
It's like I know I got enough to be cool.
this is something that like I feel like either some people were like not aware of this, or some people just chose not to pay attention to it. It really is either or with some people, based on like that's what you pay attention to in the news. Because I know I was talking with my mother, who's an R. Kelly fan, but knows that he's a freak and doesn't listen to him as much as she used to. But even after this documentary, she was like, "Oh, I'm never listening to him again. He's a monster." I'm like, "Mom, you kind of already knew this. There were news publications about this. Like you go on Black America Web, I think is what it's called, and they always post about stuff like this." Like,
But there were no faces to it, so it's easy to brush it like this is just hearsay. But once you hear these stories being recounted by the people who were actually living them, it puts a different kind of feeling to it. It puts it in a different connotation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I've heard everything though, because first of all, R. Kelly concerts aren't filled to the brim with black men. It's black women that's going there, it's getting in the front row, grabbing on his dick, and I've talked to them. Like he recently came to town, and I'm like, you know, he's a pedophile. Well, when I was that age, I was fucking. Like I've heard that. I've heard. You know, they knew what they were doing, or we didn't know how old these girls. I didn't heard like everything from other black women about like excusing this behavior, and these are black women that are mothers of daughters.
Right. There's two sides to every story. That's what somebody said outside of an R. Kelly concert.
man, there is no side to a 30-year-old man
Seriously.
a 14-year-old girl. There is absolutely no side to that. Like there's no justification for that. I don't care how attractive she is. I don't care how mature she seems. She's 14. She hasn't lived life. The fact that you are taking it, this is like I know niggas. I know dudes that's like, oh man, if you get them while they're young, you can mold them. Like, why? Like, why? Like, you sound like a rapist, bro.
Right, that's
like you sound like. First of all, you sound like
predator.
you sound like a weak man, for sure. But he's twisted. In his mind, that's his only saving grace.
Yeah.
In his mind, he doesn't think he's doing anything wrong. Like, it's not an act. When he answered that question, like, what you mean? Like, he needed complete clarification. Like, because what I'm doing ain't fucked up. Nigga, if she 18, 19, she good to go. If it's grass on the field, play ball. But he like, how young are you talking?
Right. He had to think in his head like
he would
justify.
be like if he would have been like 9, 10, he would have been offended. Like, how dare you?
Right.
So
like, fam, you
14?
14 maybe, but 9, 10 never.
That's crazy.
Ray spoke on that. Go ahead.
But definitely not excusing his behavior. But I didn't see the part, but they kind of glossed over the fact that he was molested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that happens a lot to our boys.
For sure.
That they gloss because of their gender. We gloss over the fact that they've been touched inappropriately by men and women.
Right. Right.
And a lot of things that we would consider rape for girls, like a high school girl having sex with a teacher, we would consider that rape. But vice versa, it's like, oh yeah, go you.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
You bag the teacher.
Yeah.
Right.
Even though that's rape.
Yeah.
I can look back on it now. When I was 16, I had, you know what I'm saying, I had something happen with a 26-year-old woman. And of course, I'm like, at 16, I'm like, oh, I'm the man.
Right. Yeah.
When I became 26 and I looked at a 16-year-old girl, like, yo, this is disgusting.
Right. It's taking
Like, yo,
advantage.
ma'am, you were trash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's definitely looked at very differently, gender-wise. It's definitely it's more acceptable because it's the high five. It's the story amongst your boys. Like, oh, you got her. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
it's uncharted territory. But, bruh,
Double
And
standards.
it's like
Double
even laugh
standards.
because I remember
Completely.
D. Ray Davis was on Vlad and he was talking about how he was raped by 2 women at the same time when he was like 11,
Oh my God.
and like Vlad would laugh, like he were like laughing.
Like, that's a baby.
But
11.
if it was an 11-year-old girl that got raped
be
by 2
outrage.
men,
Yeah.
outrage.
I mean, we live in a patriarchal society, so
It's
you're looking
double
at
standards.
it from the maleness.
One thing I noticed about this documentary, looking at the last episode, I always look for in documentaries like the resolution or the conclusion, especially if it's something about something that's ongoing. Okay, like where do we go from here? I did notice that the Mute R. Kelly campaign, the hashtag Mute R. Kelly campaign, had kind of like a reignition. Like, you know, it was sparked again after all this, after all these accusations came out. A Chicago concert was canceled. That's his hometown, Chicago. It was like that. Ava DuVernay, a lot of famous people came out and said, you know, we are stating Mute R. Kelly, Ava DuVernay. Man, I forgot who came out. I just watched it last night. But anyway, some famous people came out and made their voices heard that they were muting R. Kelly. And
I know Tom Joyner said he's not going to play his music.
Which was a huge leap because Tom
Joyner
Joyner
been playing it for 20 years.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
Don't have this epiphany now.
Right.
You've been playing it for 20 years, and you're in the music industry.
Well,
so he knew. Yeah,
he got called up by the co-founder of Me Too. She called him up and said, "Look, can you please stop playing R. Kelly?" And he agreed right then. Like, okay, I'll stop playing R. Kelly. But I mean, you got called up on the air. So what were you gonna do? Were you gonna fight back, or were you gonna say, "I'll do it"?
You know, with the R. Kelly situation, it's all about the era that we're in. If that happened again during the social media era that we're in now, he would have been arrested, been in jail. I think so.
First of all, like, what is going to come of this? I don't think he's going to jail.
He's not.
And I think, like, there's a couple people out here that's going to probably Sally Struthers the situation.
Right.
You know who Sally Struthers is?
They have no idea.
Give me a rundown.
She's an actress / philanthropist. And, you know, she will make these, you know, feed the children commercials. And then every, you know, new commercial, she was getting fatter and fatter. Like, where's this money going? Are you eating it?
Right.
But the kids are still skinny. The kids are still starving. But
yeah,
where's the money going? Which basically, like, that's a whole nother topic. But most nonprofits are like big nonprofits, not the smaller ones, but the bigger nonprofits. But, like, what is going to come of this? Are young victims of sexual assault, are they going to get the help that they need? Like, what is going to come of this?
And that's a question I just don't know. I think at this point, yes, it's building that awareness to what he did and sort of the atrocities, you know, of his actions. But at the end of the day, they just don't have. They won't have any support. There's nothing there to. I doubt they're going to charge him. Unless they do something like with Bill Cosby and just go back and take their testimonies from 20, 30 years ago. But
people, the big misconception is that people think that Bill Cosby was convicted on those things that happened in like the 70s and 80s. He wasn't. It was one specific case. I think it was 2004.
Yeah.
It was 2004, and she had been she had been adamant in her filing and all of that stuff. So
because the statute of limitation too. You got to look at that. So.
There are some powerful sequences in this documentary around the 4th or 5th episode, I like to say, where one parent in particular comes to the hotel where she thinks her daughter is at and, like, rescues her and tries. She has a one-on-one with her where the camera is kind of afar, but you hear the mic's like, listen, please come with me. I'm your mother. Come with me. I know things are kind of crazy right now, but I know you know me. It's almost kind of like a psychology brainwashing thing. So when it's like what you said about my mom. Like, when you're on the outside looking in, you just see these news posts on the website. You're like, I don't know if it's true or not. But when you see something like that, where it's directly affecting this mother and daughter, their relationship, you start to feel a certain kind of way.
And it goes to, as you said, like, you can mold the young girls as you want. Like, at this point, when it's 16, 17 years old, and you make them feel like your life depends on me, like your happiness, your success depends on me, they gonna follow you. I mean, it's just psychological manipulation right there. And so I think he sort of understood that, you know, these young girls, you can manipulate them as you please, and they gonna follow you until the end of time if they want to. So I
didn't realize how polarizing this subject matter would be. I didn't realize that so many people would defend him, like just outwardly, just be like.
I've been surprised at the amount of black women that defend him.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Wow. I mean, what are you hearing? Like, what are some people saying?
Well, they're trying to deflect, do the whole "what about the white man" thing. Like, what about all these other, you know, white rapists in the industry, which is true. Yeah. But, like, we're not talking about that.
We're talking about this right now.
We're talking about this right now. You know, let's focus on this and see what can we get out of this. but like they're trying to deflect away from the topic at hand, or y'all been new and da 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 da. I'm still gonna listen to it. Like I've seen, people record themselves still listening to R. Kelly.
What point you trying to prove? That's your
real.
business. I mean, like you act like as if like we care. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that whataboutism is strong right now. Like, no one wants to have a real discussion about just the facts. It's like, oh, well, this person did this 10 years ago, so why am I feeling the same outrage? That doesn't matter. We're talking, like you said, we're talking about this situation at this point in time,
But
regardless, right?
my question is the outrage genuine? Do you care? Like, is it genuine, or is everybody just blowing with the wind at this point? Because that's
It's
what's
the
popping
story
right
of the
now.
week.
There's some blowing with the wind.
Yeah.
There's some blowing with the wind.
Just like with Donald Trump and his situations as well, people are going to be outraged for a little bit of time, and then something else is going to come along to take their attention. We just have a short attention span.
He's the president for 4 years. People are always going to be outraged.
I mean, but again, it's so much outrage happening that it's hard to know what you're outraged about. Like, it's just every other week there's something new coming up, and it's like, all right, I was mad about this last week, but now this thing's happening this week, and so I'm about to be mad at this more than that. And so it's just how it is nowadays. We just have our attention span is limited to what's the flavor of the week. So I don't think anything's going to happen. I think at this point we gonna talk about it for the weekend. I say until Tuesday, Wednesday next week, and then something else will come up.
How do y'all move going forward as far as like R. Kelly's music?
I don't listen to him anyway.
Is it just not possible to separate the art from the artist, especially when you've seen this documentary?
But we know what
the art is inspired by.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm straight.
Like age ain't nothing but a number. He wrote that for Aaliyah.
I'm straight.
What about I Believe I Can Fly though?
I don't care.
I'm straight.
For real.
I'm cool.
I haven't
Okay.
listened to that song in 20 years anyway.
Nigga. I'm cool.
For real.
Okay.
At this point, I'm not going to put my energy or my money or anything towards someone who I know has done these things. Like, I'm sorry. Like, you done.
I have to put an asterisk by this. If he does another Trapped in the Closet series, I'll watch it for sure.
Trapped in the Closet number 132.
I'm not going to front, bro.
Hey, first of all, how many Trapped in the Closet?
Not enough. Not enough.
I think that was like
that's the correct answer.
It was
Not
20 something,
enough.
wasn't it?
was
No,
a
it was
ton.
more.
It was
He
like
doubled
30
down.
something.
He doubled down for
wow.
sure.
I will have to admit the
30
Trapped in the
something.
Closet.
And they was playing it on Stars like a movie. I watched it, the whole thing.
It was cinematic. It was goofy, but it was cinematic.
I remember that was just like, what?
At some point, he had to be like, let's see how they handle this shit.
Right.
The midget.
Measure.
Yeah.
The dwarf.
Right.
The church
the little
scene.
person. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
No, I wasn't trying to correct you. I was just saying.
No, I
Oh,
wasn't
my
correct myself.
God.
I didn't want to get beat up.
Yeah, that's yeah. I mean,
But
Trapped in the
here's
Closet
the
was crazy.
thing, though. Behind every rich pervert are other rich perverts.
right.
Yeah.
So R. Kelly is not even like he's not even like the entertainment industry is just nasty. Like
It's very nasty.
it's just nasty. Like
Yeah, I agree.
and then like you got the rich perverts, and then you have the men and women around the rich perverts that protect them, that build this wall up to make sure their perversion is not made public because they want to get the bag.
The music labels.
Yeah, music labels itself. I mean, but not even just in terms of entertainment. There are perverse people throughout our society, right?
Yeah.
Politicians, just everyday teachers, like everyday people are doing some of these same things.
But they don't have that. First, they don't have a wall of money,
Right.
and they don't have like a machine, like a record label or a movie studio behind them to protect them.
But that may be scarier because they don't have anything to lose at that point.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely
You know what
right.
I'm saying?
They're hiding in the shadows. They're just
Yeah.
doing what they're doing.
Yeah, that can be a little bit more frightening.
And so I'm hoping, I mean, again, who knows where this is going to lead? I doubt it's going to be any criminal charges. But I think building that general awareness about what these young women went through, I mean, I'm glad. I'm sure it's good for them because they got off their chest and now they can freely talk about it. But again, at this point, it's still all allegations because nothing's technically proven in court. Right?
Okay, Anthony, I didn't see it, but I heard Charlamagne was in it.
Yeah.
Dream, why?
Charlamagne.
He's an entertainment.
I mean,
person,
he was in there. He is a voice of the culture a little bit. I mean,
But he's a bully, and he
definitely so.
bullies women.
definitely so, and black women too. And I made
Yeah.
I made a point about that to my girl when we were watching it. So yeah, he was interviewed. He didn't say anything dumb. He said something that made sense. He said, the throwaway quote that everybody uses, which wasn't unique, but the most disrespectful person in the world is the black woman or something like that. And then he spoke on R. Kelly, like, well, everybody knew this about R. Kelly, and it's like, he was like pointing the finger at people who kind of ignored it and stuff like that. I mean, he didn't say anything noteworthy, but he was just a talking head.
Yeah. So there was no point in having him on there.
He didn't embarrass us. Let's put it that way.
I mean, I like that John Legend spoke out. That's something that,
Yeah.
I think he felt that it was necessary to do.
Yeah, that too. John Legend spoke out on it. There was controversy between Dream Hampton and Questlove, though, because she stated that, the celebrities that she approached, Questlove, Erykah Badu, Dave Chappelle, Jay-Z, they said they didn't want to do this, and that says something about, people in the industry. And then Questlove said, well, you approached me to speak on the good part of R. Kelly, like the things he's done that are good, and I didn't want to give R. Kelly any light, so that's why I told you no. So that was kind of like, I don't know if Dream's quote was taken out of context, but that was kind of like a little controversy between them.
You shaking your head.
I'll tell you off air.
I mean,
Let's talk off air.
they don't. I understand they don't necessarily. If you ask someone to speak, they don't have to say anything about anyone if they want to. I mean, maybe they just don't like to say space. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad we are now aware.
But there are a
what
lot
he
of
is.
people that incriminate themselves as far
Over
as
time.
being complicit.
Like the
with-
one older guy, he was like, "Yeah, if I forged the signature, yeah." Like, dog, bro, you should be in jail right now.
Oh yeah,
Like
he
you
just
admitted
said, he
on
just
air.
said that offhand, like, oh, I forged it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, he looked like he had regret about it though. He looked like he had shame, but it was like that was kind of like a throwaway quote that shouldn't have been a throwaway quote.
And his brother was like, "Well, everybody got they they got their preferences. Like, I like old women, he likes young women." I'm like, "Yeah, bro, you're pretty much selling your brother."
Is this the one that was in jail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I like older women. He like younger women. What's the difference?
What's the
I'm
difference?
like,
God.
Like
okay.
10 years in jail, nigga. That's
Hey, why is he in jail? What happened?
I don't know.
I didn't follow that part. I just knew he was in jail.
Yeah, they didn't say what he was in jail
I'm
for.
curious. But yeah, man, it was an interesting series. I don't know if again, I don't know what's gonna come out of it. I think it was honestly, again, it was telling us stuff we already knew a little bit too long. I don't need 6 episodes.
They kept
to show me
using
what's
the
going
same shot of him humping the air on stage. they used that like 10 times throughout, man. I'm
I
like,
was about
that's
to
what he known
ask
for.
you, because I only saw the 2 parts, but as far as documentary quality,
oh no, it ain't no Made in America. No OJ Made in
on.
America.
They literally looped the
I
same
heard that
pictures.
was really good. I haven't seen it.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
You should watch it.
Oh, I need
But,
to see
like,
this on Hulu.
It was kind of like the same kind of stock footage they used throughout.
over and over.
Yeah, but I mean, they did a good job. Lifetime came through with it.
Yeah, but that was the one thing that was one thing that kind of I critiqued about that. It's like it could have been done better, but it's as long as these women got their stories told, that's all that matters. In terms of the next steps, do you think that? And I think R. Kelly did an interview yesterday with Huffington Post. Did you see that?
Oh, that wasn't. Oh,
Was
he
that
did
yesterday?
a new one?
Or something was posted where
no,
he
that
walked.
was the old one where they asked him about it and he walked
Oh,
out.
that was old.
yeah,
Okay,
that's old.
it was just
That's
reposted
Yeah,
yesterday.
it's just reposted.
Yeah,
He dropped a song called not too long ago called "I Admit," a 19-minute song addressing all of this.
I didn't listen to it 1 minute of it.
that's pretty much the OJ thing, the OJ book.
I don't want to listen to a 19-minute R. Kelly song, man, especially about loving young girls. What are you doing?
He said he wasn't admitting to that. When I didn't listen to it, but I just heard that he was admitting to not knowing how to read
Yeah.
and not having any money.
But look, y'all, great first new show of the year.
Great.
Started off strong. Marv, you got anything you want to plug?
Nope.
He said nope.
He is on all streaming services.
Yeah. I'm everywhere, man. Come get some of these ratchet ass opinions.
Hey.
Marv, we appreciate you coming.
Thank you for having me.
Got a
man.
new Facebook page title now, y'all. Podcast Detroit, Can We Talk? Like, share, subscribe. Any other thoughts? Or we?
That's it. Hey, thank you all. Thank you, Marv, for being here again,
I mean,
man.
thank you, man.
But
We didn't get to talk about Snow on the Bluff, which I like to do on every podcast.
well, you got to come back.
It's a
to
classic.
Classic, bro.
Classic
sure.
movie.
Shout Snow.
All right, let's go.
Oh, I watched this movie called Wait.